think he got the power, and he got the equalizer. Anything can happen with Tank. But Tank give away a lot of rounds.
This thing with 1,000 keys on it. But every key, they knew that key was for a certain door to get into the building. When he's moving around, I'm saying, he's the super with that big key ring, and he's looking for the right key to get in the door.
A chess match.
Did you understand in that moment, like, why he is who he is?
Yeah, I seen why he's able to beat these guys.
Curmel Moton has delivered a direct and emphatic warning to Lamont Roach, urging him to seriously reconsider stepping into the ring again with Gervonta "Tank" Davis for their highly anticipated rematch. Moton's caution isn't coming from a place of casual concern, it's rooted in what he has seen and what he knows about the new version of Tank that has recently surfaced. With Davis's latest training footage circulating, his impressive physical transformation and sharpened skill set have sent shockwaves through the boxing community. Moton emphasized that Davis is now a far more dangerous opponent than ever before. His raw power, combined with his refined ring IQ and flawless execution, have elevated him beyond the level that Roach encountered in their previous bout. Moton didn't mince words, he stressed that Davis's status as the face of modern boxing is not just a media narrative, it's a reality earned through a series of electrifying, often brutal performances. He reminded everyone that when Davis steps into the ring, the unexpected is always possible, no fighter is ever truly safe. For Lamont Roach, agreeing to this rematch isn't just another title shot, it's a serious gamble that could come with steep consequences.
You guys put the pressure, you got some skills himself, and I feel like it's going to be a great fight. I know I'm the better fighter, the more sharper fighter, and I know I'm working harder than him, so, we're going to see. But I know that I have what it takes, and I'm going to prove it.
The boxing world is buzzing after the release of Gervonta Davis's latest training footage, which has taken social media by storm. In a short but revealing clip, Davis's physical condition alone sparked widespread conversation. He appears dramatically more muscular, his frame packed with dense power, and his movements are sharper and more explosive than ever before. Every step he takes in the gym seems calculated, every punch is thrown with ruthless precision and clear intent. His footwork, speed, and timing show an elevated focus that signals he's training for more than just victory, he's training for dominance. Observers, both fans and analysts alike, were quick to note that this isn't the same Davis who fought Roach in their first encounter. This version of Tank Davis seems to be preparing to send an unmissable message in the rematch. His body language and ferocity make it clear, he's not underestimating his opponent, and he's not approaching this fight as just another defense. He's coming to completely dismantle Lamont Roach and silence any lingering questions. Curmel Moton offered an intimate, behind-the-scenes perspective as he reflected on his past sparring sessions with Gervonta Davis. With a mixture of deep respect and lingering caution, Moton recalled what it felt like to share the ring with Tank, a moment that left a lasting impression on him both physically and mentally. It wasn't just Davis's power that overwhelmed him. What truly stood out was the precision of Tank's strikes, the perfect timing of his combinations, and the relentless psychological pressure that forced Moton to operate in survival mode for much of their time together. Moton explained that Davis systematically dismantles his sparring partners in a way that most fighters simply can't counter. There's a cold, methodical nature to his attacks that drains opponents mentally just as much as it breaks them down physically. That sparring session opened Moton's eyes to the brutal demands required to stand in front of Davis. He realized why even world-class fighters often crumble against him. Facing Tank isn't just a test of skill, it's a war of endurance, calculation, and psychological warfare where very few make it to the final bell unscathed.
What was it like when you sparred him? I know you sparred Tank early on.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Like, replay that experience for me, like, you coming out of it, what was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really, like, trying to knock me out or nothing like that, but we was going, like, he was using the speed on me. Like, we was both, like, going speed for speed, and it was great. It was like a chess match.
Did you understand in that moment, like, why he is who he is?
Yeah, I seen why he's able to beat these guys. Then I also seen why I'm so, like, I got all this hype around me.
Despite fully understanding the immense risk, Curmel Moton once openly expressed his desire to face Gervonta Davis in a real fight before the champion hangs up his gloves for good. This wasn't about chasing headlines or proving his toughness to the public, it was about an internal quest to measure himself against the very best. Moton understood that sharing the ring with someone of Davis's caliber could reveal his true standing in the sport in a way no other fight could. It wasn't an ego-driven fantasy, it was a fighter's purest instinct to challenge the peak of the mountain. He acknowledged the danger that comes with facing a fighter as complete as Tank, but that was exactly why he was drawn to the idea. In his mind, to stand across from Davis and truly test oneself is the ultimate proving ground. This level of ambition speaks volumes about Moton's mindset. A rare breed of fighter who isn't content with easy victories but instead seeks out the moments that could define a career, even at great personal risk.
Is a big fight. Do you think Tank will retire before you can, because there is a small possibility. He's still at 35, so maybe you can catch him at 40 in 5 years, right? He's what, 29? He'll be 29 November, or he's 29 now? One of the two. So he'll be 30. Technically it'll be like him fighting Loma. Loma's 36. Or you don't even think about that?
I don't think about it. I'm not really focused on it. I'm focused on now, my upcoming fights, take one fight at a time, but who knows what the future holds. I do know Tank said that he ain't want to be around that much longer though. From what he said, take care of, not Devin no more. He don't even want to fight Devin no more. But Shakur, what's he said, Tiafimo? I think he said he wanted to retire, but who knows.
The frequent comparisons drawn between Curmel Moton and Gervonta Davis have not gone unnoticed by Moton himself. Rather than feeling overshadowed or insulted, he embraces the comparisons as a badge of honor, a recognition of his own rapid development and potential. To even be mentioned in the same conversation as a global icon like Davis is, in Moton's eyes, a sign that he's doing something right. He understands that Davis has transcended boxing titles and has become one of the defining figures of this generation, respected not just for his skill but for consistently delivering performances that electrify audiences worldwide. For Moton, these comparisons are more than just flattery, they serve as motivation. They represent a high standard he now feels compelled to live up to. He's aware that to walk in those shoes, he must push his limits, sharpen every facet of his game, and carry the weight of those expectations with him into the ring.
People compare you to Tank. When you hear that, like when they call you Tank 2.0 or whatever the case is, how do you feel about that?
I used to take it as like a compliment. When I was an amateur, I used to take it as a compliment. But they comparing me to Tank, he faced the boxing, like the biggest names in the sport, real high skill. But now I feel like I want to make a name for myself. I don't want to be 2.0 or nobody. I want to be the first me, and make my own.
Boxing legend Oscar de la Hoya has added his voice to the growing conversation surrounding the upcoming rematch, offering a seasoned perspective that carries weight in the sport. De la Hoya acknowledged Lamont Roach's skill set, praising his technical abilities and tactical approach. However, when the topic shifted to Gervonta Davis, De La Hoya's tone became much more serious. In his assessment, Roach is stepping into incredibly dangerous territory. Davis, according to De La Hoya, isn't just another opponent, he represents a completely different level of ferocity, intelligence, and controlled aggression. De La Hoya believes that while Roach may be skilled, the rematch could quickly turn into a perilous situation because of the sheer speed, timing, and power that Tank brings. From De La Hoya's point of view, this is not just a challenging fight for Roach, it's a gamble that could backfire quickly if Roach can't keep pace with the relentless pressure Davis is likely to apply.
I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. Watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations sometimes at will without you even knowing it. He's that sneaky. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But obviously Gervonta Davis has the experience, he has the knowledge, he has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any punch.
Frank Martin, another respected voice in the sport, has provided his own thoughtful breakdown of the looming rematch. Martin, who understands the demands of top-level boxing, offered a balanced analysis, giving Roach credit for his skills and acknowledging that Roach brings a respectable toolset into the fight. However, Martin firmly believes that the night will be grueling for Roach from the very first round. According to Martin, Davis's combination of crushing power, suffocating pressure, and intelligent ring control will be a constant, draining force that Roach will struggle to withstand. He anticipates that Davis will systematically wear Roach down, making him fight off the back foot and forcing him into survival mode long before the championship rounds. Martin's analysis isn't based on hype, it's grounded in experience and an understanding of what it feels like to share the ring with a fighter who refuses to take his foot off the gas. From Martin's perspective, Roach isn't just facing a power puncher, he's facing an intelligent, aggressive fighter who knows exactly how to break opponents mentally and physically as the fight drags on.
They're trying to give that fight more of a, like, oh, it's going to be a good fight, but no. Roach is a decent fighter, but this ain't going to dog him. This ain't going to dog him.
For sure.
Steven Espinosa's insights offer a much-needed broader perspective on Gervonta Davis's place within the boxing landscape. According to Espinosa, Davis is most dangerous and effective when competing in the 135-pound division. It's within this weight class that his natural gifts, blistering speed, explosive power, and surgical precision align perfectly to make him nearly unstoppable. While Davis has occasionally stepped up to fight at 140 pounds, Espinosa believes Tank's true dominance remains at lightweight, where his physical advantages are maximized and his power seems to carry more devastating consequences. Espinosa also pulled back the curtain on some of the behind-the-scenes negotiations that fans rarely get to see. He specifically referenced the much-discussed megafight with Shakur Stevenson, a potential showdown that had the boxing world salivating. Unfortunately, the fight fell apart due to deeper, more complex contractual issues that couldn't be resolved in time. Despite the missed opportunity, Espinosa remains fully confident in Davis's current path, emphasizing that his star power, marketability, and ring performances continue to grow at an impressive rate. For Espinosa, Davis isn't just thriving, he's steadily becoming one of the few fighters who can define an entire era.
Yeah, for sure.
Waking up in Texas and coming over here, I'm like, geez, that cold is different, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Steven, Tank versus Lamont Roach, right? March 1st, we're going to get this fight here in New York. There are a lot of questions of why Lamont Roach, right? Let's not discredit him. He's a great fighter, great chin, high IQ. But why Lamont Roach? That's the questions that all the fans are asking at the beginning.
Look, I think the reality is, I think those are fair questions. I mean, when you have fighters the caliber of Tank, of Canelo, the bar is always high. When you continue to perform well against high-level opposition, people expect a lot from you. There were preliminary discussions about the Shakur fight, early on, like back early, for 2024 before this was scheduled. Didn't get very far for reasons I won't go into. But
come on.
I just think there were, I'm not sure that the time was right. I think, what Shakur was looking for was something different than, he was looking for more of a long-term commitment other than just doing one fight, and so he's got his deal, he's getting busy, he's got a fight scheduled, and, maybe we'll pick up and do something there. But aside from that, I mean, to be candid, those are the big names at 135. I know Tank has gone up to 140, and he would on occasion. He hasn't looked the best there. Overall, I think 135 is his best.
Inside Gervonta Davis's training camp, the energy is electric and the intensity is unmistakable. This isn't just standard preparation, it's a daily exhibition of dominance. One moment from a recent sparring session has become particularly noteworthy. Eyewitnesses report that Davis landed a single, perfectly placed punch that left his sparring partner unable to continue, drawing gasps from even the most seasoned trainers in the gym. It's moments like these that reaffirm Davis's raw, fight-ending power, a power that is as devastating in training as it is under the bright lights on fight night. These kinds of displays aren't isolated incidents within Tank's camp. Fighters and trainers who step into his orbit consistently report being overwhelmed by his power, accuracy, and relentless pressure. His focus during this camp has been razor-sharp, every drill executed with urgency and every punch delivered with a purpose. It's clear that this isn't just about winning. This is about making a statement. Davis isn't looking to scrape by on points, he's preparing to decisively shut down all doubt and reassert his dominance with a performance that leaves no questions unanswered.
Once Tank felt one more power, you actually really think that one more takes power.
I don't think anybody could take his power. You know he knocked out heavyweights?
I was there.
Tell me the story, what happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name, I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Tank, is that true? You almost killed a heavyweight in the ring? That's what he said.
Should be happening.
Because he asked me, how does a 135 pounder take your power? I said, I don't think anybody takes the power.
Just not get in there with me. That's it. That's how they do it.
Were you shocked when you saw that?
Huh?
Were you shocked?
I was just like, man, he better not do that shit to me.
And you know what else he told me? You punched him upstairs, he lost feeling in his leg. No, he did. You told me that, right? No, it happened.
You ready?
Yeah.
Lamont Roach isn't walking into this rematch as a desperate underdog hoping for a lucky break, he's arriving as a seasoned, battle-tested fighter who has quietly built an impressive resume. With just one loss on his record, Roach has matured into a competitor whose style now blends sharp precision with measured patience. His setbacks have become learning experiences, shaping him into a fighter who now fights with refined intelligence and purpose. Observers have noted that Roach's movement is more fluid than ever, his timing sharpened through years of disciplined work. He's no longer just reacting, he's dictating exchanges with confidence. This isn't a fighter who's content to merely survive the onslaught Davis is known for. Roach is coming into this bout fully prepared to challenge Davis on every level, technically, strategically, and mentally. His preparation signals that he's ready to go beyond survival and genuinely push Tank in ways that few have.
Tank out here selling under 150,000 pay-per-views, you kidding me? Oh man, face of boxing, yeah, turn that shit off. Yeah, we shutting that shit down. Every single time. Does Shakur really want to fight Tank? I think Shakur could sell a bit more with somebody else. Especially in Saudi, I feel like they can find him a dancing partner that'll do a little bit better than 150,000. Okay, I get it. This is why PBC delayed this fight for what, 5 months? Y'all ain't want to pay this motherfucker because y'all know he can't sell. I mean, this should have been evident. If you do the math, Tank has never been that great of a pay-per-view draw. He sold over 300K twice now in his career. He sold over 300K with Ryan Garcia, that's obvious, Ryan's the bigger star. And then he sold over 300 with Martin, he sold about 325. But when we put it in perspective, that Frank Martin fight was a comeback fight after a year layoff, so it was always going to sell. Every comeback fight's going to sell. It was one of the first pay-per-views on Amazon's new PBC deal, so they were really trying to push it. And then he had David Benavidez as the co-main event with Gary Russell and Alberto Puello under them. You take away all those factors that this wasn't a comeback fight. David Benavidez isn't the co-main event, and Amazon has now been in the game for over a year. It makes sense it only sold 150. I know there's going to be a couple of you guys in the comments, no, it sold 500K. Don't be so gullible. They didn't sell 500K. I don't know if Tank's a top, well, I know for a fact he's not a top 5 draw in the sport of boxing anymore. Well, he's not selling pay-per-views. Bivol better be up, just triple him. Well, Jerry, their pay-per-views are cheaper. Don't matter. All that matters is who has more eyes watching him, and Bivol and Better BF do. Tank doesn't.
When evaluating Lamont Roach, it's essential to recognize the depth of his accomplishments. While Gervonta Davis naturally commands the headlines, Roach has quietly forged his own championship legacy through years of consistent, high-level performances. He's not just a durable fighter, he's a skilled technician who remains composed in chaotic moments. His victories, especially against tough competition, prove that he's capable of adjusting under pressure and thriving in the heat of battle. Many casual fans overlook Roach's credentials, but those who study the sport closely understand the layers he brings to the ring. His ability to reset, adapt, and find answers in real time sets him apart from challengers who fold under Davis's relentless pressure. The draw in their first fight wasn't just a statistical anomaly, it was a seismic moment that forced the boxing world to pause. For the first time in years, there were whispers about Davis's potential vulnerability. Was it simply an off night, or had Roach uncovered real cracks in the seemingly impenetrable armor of Tank Davis? Analysts, trainers, and fans have since debated whether Roach's performance was a fluke or a carefully executed blueprint for challenging Davis. Regardless of the answer, Roach's showing that night has forever changed the narrative surrounding this matchup.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.